All right, y'all. So we got to talk about Dr. Wendy just a little piece, okay? Because Dr. Wendy did get a chance to go over to the Breakfast Club, and when she went over to the Breakfast Club, she she went over with her niece. Okay, I believe her niece name may be Alex. I think Alex Finney. She is also like a news reporter anchor down in Miami. So she went with her because Wendy felt like her niece could better articulate things. She is also aware of what all is going on. I also question if she utilized her niece to speak on things because she didn't want to legally get in trouble, in a sense. Like already having this meeting with the Breakfast Club was likely putting her in jeopardy, but maybe she didn't want to say anything like directly out of her mouth, right? And kind of use her niece to say some things, possibly. Not necessarily sure, but she did have her niece come along to be a part of this with her. Now, I do have some audio that I want us to just get into really quickly from Miss Wendy. So I want us to check out some of the things that she had to say about the matter at hand. So let me go ahead and get that up for you guys.
My niece Alex knows a lot as well, but I am not cognitively impaired. You know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in New York City, right? And Alex,
Yeah.
you know exactly what you're talking about. You flew from Miami to New York and you were right here with me. Go ahead.
She's there in New York in this place, essentially like what some would call a luxury prison. This is her room. That's allegedly her apartment. But the thing about this apartment, and you know this, not Wendy, because you're there, it's
Excuse
small.
me.
She has a bed, a chair, a TV, a bathroom, and she's looking out one window.
And excuse me, through my money, I had this person buy the TV, the kind of TV I like, through this person because all of my stuff is in storage. You understand what I'm saying? Everything's in storage. And by the way, that was to sell my apartment. But anyway, with my niece Alex knows a lot as well, but I am not cognitively impaired. You know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in New York City, right? And Alex,
Yeah.
you know exactly what you're talking about. You flew from Miami to New York and you were right here with me. Go ahead.
She's there in New York in this place, essentially like what some would call a luxury prison. This is her room. That's allegedly her apartment. But the thing about this apartment, and you know this, not Wendy, because you're there, it's
Excuse
small.
me.
She has a bed, a chair, a TV, a bathroom, and she's looking out one window.
And excuse me, through my money, I had this person buy the TV, the kind of TV I like, through this person because all of my stuff is in storage. You understand what I'm saying? Everything's in storage. And by the way, that was to sell my apartment. But anyway, with my niece Al.
All right. So y'all just heard some of what Miss Ma'am is saying. Y'all just heard some of what Miss what's her name? Miss Wendy was saying about the whole situation, girl. It's just like crazy. It's crazy. I definitely feel like Wendy is being taken advantage of. I've already done a video on this about almost a year ago where I talked about Wendy, the guardianships, and all of that. Okay. I hate it. Even what's her name? I think it's I forgot the other girl's name that sits on that I follow her. But I think it starts with the L. Is it Lauren LaRosa? She was talking about how she even went up there trying to see Wendy at the facility, got Wendy on the phone, and the people up there like, oh no, you can't well, you can't see. No, I think they told her to like wait or something like that. They were trying to do something. I guess they had to call Lori, not Lori, but they had to call Sabrina Marisi because Sabrina Marisi was like, you got to talk to her before anybody can see her. Next thing you know, these guys come out and they're like, who are you? You're trying to see Wendy, da 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 da. And she's like, oh, I think they had to talk to Sabrina, for me to see Wendy. I got Wendy on the phone. He's like, we don't have anybody here by that name, and da da da. And they just made her feel super uncomfortable. So she left. Okay. I do feel like Wendy is in a luxury prison, girl, just like they said. I do. The white ladies that you see on the screen, this one is Sabrina Marisi. This is the Guardian. She is also an attorney out there in New York, and she was granted guardianship over Wendy after Lori Scheller, the advisor over at Wells Fargo, she was the advisor over Wendy's account. After she raised some type of concern about Wendy and her spending or whatever, she locked up all of her accounts and stuff. And then New York ended up granting her a guardianship, okay, over granting that woman guardianship over Wendy, okay. The other woman that you're seeing is Roberta. I forgot what her last name is. Let me see. I want to make sure that I have her last name, Roberta. I forget, what is it? Let me see. Roberta something. I don't know. But anyway, her name is she's an attorney. Her name is Roberta Kaplan. Roberta Kaplan, that's her name. I keep wanting to say Roberta Flank for some reason, but it's Roberta Kaplan. And she actually went and sat down with TMZ too. When she sat down with TMZ, this lady pretty much said, she was in support of, Wendy's attorney. In so many words, Miss Sabrina, because the thing is, this Sabrina hired this attorney to represent Wendy in that case between A&E and Lifetime, because Lifetime ended up doing that documentary, and Sabrina felt like Wendy did not get paid enough money. Okay. With her not getting paid enough money, she's like, okay, listen, I'm gonna sue y'all, whatever like that, on behalf of Wendy, or whatever the case is, and y'all need to get that lady her money. And Lifetime fired back, and they like, oh girl, you just really mad because the documentary made your ass look real bad. Don't be mad at us because it exposed you, BIT. Y'all didn't pay Wendy enough. She only made $80-some thousand. Well, here's my question. Did y'all not see the contracts, attorneys? Okay, Guardian, did y'all not see the contracts or anything? Now, she tries to allege that the signature on the documentation was forged. But then also, I was hearing that Sabrina was okay with this. Even Wendy goes on a Breakfast Club and said that Sabrina was in support of it. She even sat there and watched all parts with Wendy. You know what I'm saying? So but even before Wendy talked about this, they said that Sabrina was in support of the film, and then once she learned what the film was going to be doing and exposing her, she decided to try to sue them and try to stop it before it came out. But it was too late. The other judge ruled that it was a violation of freedom of speech, so they allowed them to proceed with it. So she continued to proceed with whatever lawsuit or whatever the case is. So now I believe they're suing her back, and yeah. She's feeling like, oh, y'all did this in false light. And what I'm questioning about this with her saying Wendy didn't get paid enough money. My question is, did you see any of the contracts beforehand? Okay. And some part of me wouldn't be surprised if you did and you were in support of it and you were okay with her getting that money. I also feel like allegedly she could have been spending up Wendy's money, which is why Kevin Hunter has been trying to get documents from her, financial records, so that he can continue his case with her. And the judge has asked Sabrina on more than one occasion to present this man with court documents that she has yet to provide him with. And I feel like that should be against something. That should be against some type of violation in the courtroom or whatever, or he needs to order her to give this man the financial records by a certain period. Now, I understand a lot of people being upset and feeling like, oh, Kevin just want her money. Kevin, da-da-da. Well, I tell you one thing. He could be a trash ass NIGGA, but Wendy knew that. Okay. Wendy knew that, and Wendy continued to rock with that man until that man ended up having that baby. Okay. So first things first. Wendy agreed to whatever money when they got that divorce. She agreed to that. Before then, when he was married to her, Wendy didn't have all them vultures and whatever else around her. It wasn't no issues with her money. Okay. Once she divorced that man, went through that case or whatever, it wasn't much longer after she divorced that man that they tried to lock her money up. Okay. Especially after she stopped showing up over there on her show. Okay. For months at a time. She agreed to whatever amount, and she even praised her attorney for settling her divorce on the Breakfast Club for whatever money she was giving Kelvin. They agreed to that. Whether we like it or not, that man is owed his money based on what was agreed upon. Okay. Once Miss girl Sabrina stepped in and shut all of that down, he can't get any money. I think that is the problem. Just a little piece. I know if I was on the receiving end and my husband at the time would have had all this money or whatever, and we didn't got divorced, I'm supposed to get money, whatever. Like, I'm gonna want my coin, bitch. You having guardianship with them ain't got shit to do with me, just a little piece. Give me my coin. But then also, he knows taking her to court to get his portion will also be exposing her. Exposing her, showing the financial records will expose where and how they may have been moving Wendy's money. Okay. Her best friend recalls seeing, and I talked about this a long time ago, her best friend recalls seeing millions of dollars in Wendy's account before all of this went down. So for them to then go to Wendy and she asks them where her money's at, and they tell her there is no money, and this lady goes on Breakfast Club and say that she only got $15 to her name, is sketchy betchy. And it's also a very reason as to why Sabrina, in my opinion, and it's alleged as to why she has not provided Kelvin Hunter with those documents. with the financial records that the judge has ordered her to give this man on more than one occasion. This man has been waiting to receive financial documents on behalf of Wendy's accounts for 2 years now. If that ain't sketchy, I don't know what to tell you. And if you still don't have much of a knowledge on guardianships and how elders and people in situations like Wendy are taken advantage of, if you are not privy to how it was with Miss Britney Spears, then you need to moonwalk and slide on over there to the video that I did on guardianships to learn a bit more. This happened out in Las Vegas. This girl was unable to find her parents. Okay, her parents were completely taken advantage of when she was trying to purchase things. When the parents needed certain things, once they got forced into some type of nursing facility, when the parents needed to order something, some pants, the guardian would charge the parents, first of all, money to order stuff for them, and then overcharge them on the material that they were trying to get, like pants. Like the pants would be like $60 or something like that. Like it would be like extra money. Well, when it was all said and done and that girl continued to fight for her parents, that lady ended up going to prison and owed those folks like $10 million. Okay. So and see, this is where it's going to be an issue, I feel, for Miss Wendy, because a lot of this has been going on, in my opinion, in New York. Okay. And I touched on it on a whole nother video before I even did the guardianships, where I talked about that. And how this one girl lost contact with her mom. The guardian stopped communicating with her until after her mama died, and then gonna send her an email saying your mama dead, you could go pick her up. Okay, no cap. Okay, that's what happened. Another man, they took this man was wealthy or whatever, took over this man's housing and everything, took over him, sold his brownstone for millions of dollars, and or however many hundreds of thousands or $1 million, and the guardian got a portion of that money of his home being sold. Who the hell are you to get any money off of what he spent his lifetime on and invested in? And that's probably something he was going to leave to his kids. Who are you? Okay, so in New York, in my opinion, they heavily take advantage of the guardianship system. Okay, and because so many people, in my opinion, are in cahoots with this, it could potentially, in my opinion, be difficult to get her out of this situation. I'm not saying they should not try. I'm not saying they should not fight. But if they were to release her, they better release her under like very clear rules, or I don't know, she can't talk about it ever again. We'll release you. We'll let you, one of your family members, step in and have guardianship over you, or whatever the case is, right? But you cannot speak about this again, because then it's going to implode on them, right? It's going to be a lot coming out about who all had their hands in this type of SHI and who all was involved. Okay. And I think that is connected to the lawyer, to the judges, to the lawyers, to the advisors in financial firms. Okay. In my personal, I think there is an entire system that we may not know anything about. Okay. And that we're starting to learn about, because they likely didn't mess with the right one potentially, because Wendy is very beloved by her community. Okay. So the fact that she's loved by her community and people just feel like this is wrong, it's going to be conversations about it. But they have to make sure they do their due diligence, in my opinion. Miss Alex, I think you need to do your due diligence by continuing to have this conversation, even when your aunt can't. Her Wendy's son may have to start coming out doing interviews. They even threatened him. They accused him of mishandling money on her accounts with Uber Eats and stuff like that, right? And then threatened him by saying they will charge him with kidnapping charges if he does not send his mom back to New York, or whatever the case was. Okay. So they definitely removed him as her power of attorney. They like literally removed him from everything. And I don't think that that should be right or fair, because if anything were to happen to Wendy, any of her belongings or what's remaining of her should go to his. Okay. And I do feel like locking her away in a mental nursing facility, even if she does have dementia or whatever the case is, I feel like that is unhealthy for the brain mentally. All right. And therefore, she's going to deteriorate even quicker. And it's interesting that they now have her in this nursing facility where she can't access anything, when in the beginning, when they were first being documented, they had her surrounded by people that would allow her to have alcohol all the time. Which is why her sister, from my understanding, when her sister, who is an attorney, wanted to be her guardian, I don't think Wendy wanted her to be the guardian, because because her sister wouldn't allow her to drink. Right. So after Kelvin left her, it sent her into like a tailspin, or after she divorced him. Okay. It fractured something in her. Okay. And she really turned to drinking and everything. Okay. Her son says that he believes she has an alcohol induced dementia going on. All right. The Roberta woman that you see, flashing across the screen. She went to the Breakfast Club and said that Wendy had dementia, but she said she had frontal lobe dementia. Okay. I don't recall her saying that it was tied to alcohol or anything like that. I would assume. I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I don't. My assumption, and you guys can clear that up in the comments. My assumption would be if it was alcohol induced, could she potentially get not completely better, but a little better if she stops drinking? And that's kind of what it sounds like on the Breakfast Club. Okay. It sounds like she is better to me. She sounds better than what she sounded and looked like when we watched the documentary. And of course, Wendy already has her own issues, right? Yeah, she may have dementia, allegedly, whatever they're saying. She got the dementia. She has some other stuff going on with her. She's getting older. I don't expect Wendy to sound how she sounded 5 years ago or whatever the case is. Okay. Things happen, health declines. I don't expect that. However, I do feel like she sounds a tad bit better. I don't know if she's ready to come on air, all the time. I think she could potentially do a bit of a podcast. And a lot of people saying Wendy didn't talk like that and Wendy didn't this girl. I don't know how Wendy talked when they probably edited a lot of her show. Okay, except for the time when she fell the hell out. All right. But I mean, they could do an edited podcast, chop up some stuff and make it sound right if she wanted to do that or whatnot. But she definitely had enough time to say that Diddy's done. She said she got a lot of information on Diddy from years back. And Diddy is done. She said he ain't never getting out. Okay. That's what she said, but we shall see. Okay. You just never know. All right. So according to TMZ, they said Wendy isn't enduring 365 days of failing health each year. Roberta says some days are good and she has a lot of clarity, which is why she sounded so normal and lucid when she called into the Breakfast Club this Thursday morning. First of all, for you to be an attorney representing Wendy, just a little piece in this case that she has with A&E, it's giving you going against your client just a little bit as she's speaking out against y'all. But then I also see why you're doing it, because you need to continue to paint her in a particular light in order to win whatever lawsuit that you have against A&E and Lifetime at this time. So I get why you did it, because you're trying to get a piece of coin too. You know what I'm saying? You try, like, that could potentially disrupt the case that you got going up against them. Right. And also you're doing this to support Sabrina Marissi, who's getting a lot of flack right now. And obviously you guys are likely either been good friends, which is why she appointed you to be the attorney, or y'all are becoming good friends. So you want to, defend her just a little piece, save a little grace and face for this lawsuit that you got. Okay, that's what it is. But it's also not a good look, to kind of like speak out against her. Wendy said that she feel like they're going to restrict her from doing further things. One, I feel like they will. Will they do it right now? IDK. I think they said she was supposed to be sitting with Hollywood Unlock or something like that. She's supposed to have a meeting or something with them. And I'm like, listen, I can see them still allowing her to have that, because if they try to shut her down too soon, then it's going to appear as though it's 100% true. Like, oh my God, we can't do it so soon, because then people are going to know we're keeping her from this and all this and that. So they may allow her to go forward with her calls that she has scheduled with different people this week, but we shall see. We shall see. But Miss all them women up there are not to be trusted. I don't care nothing about her appearing to be for the community, because with Roberta Kaplan, from my understanding, she does have a wife. I think she represented somebody that went against Trump and stuff like that. It's like, girl, I hear all that and still think that you giving sketchy betchy for me. But that's why I feel like I got to do further research and stuff. I got to dive deeper, and just for myself to see what the hell going on and what the real dynamics is amongst these ladies and stuff, because it's crazy. Now, granted, I do feel like Wendy should have got paid way more money with Lifetime, but I don't know what y'all may have saw and may have agreed to at that time. And also another factor I'm wondering is, was this an agreement well before for them to do some work together, Lifetime, A&E, and Wendy, well before Wendy went into this guardianship, which is why the amount was the amount. IDK, we'll have to find out, okay, on the next episode. So we shall see. We shall see how all of that is going to play out. But you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below. I just came to give you guys just a little piece of thought on a few matters at hand. I'll let you guys argue in the comments because I know y'all gonna do that anyway, because it's just how you is, really. But just make sure, girl, be mindful of how you do it. Be mindful how you do it, because it's always the season to block. Tis is always the season to get the people the hell up out of here. Understand, okay? Understand. And I'm not asking you to agree with me. You do not have to agree. Okay. But what I am saying is about how you go about doing it. Okay, girl. So the moment you try to insult me or anything like that, girl, then we just gonna have to get you the hell up out of here. Okay. Okay. So you gotta what your parents used to tell you, learn how to fight with your words. Okay. Don't be trying to use your hands down in my comments, girl. Use your words, use them very nicely. Talk to me nice. Okay. Talk to me nice, girl. If you feeling mad, girl, just hit the dislike, feel away, and then have a great day. We're not going to agree on everything. And this just might be one of them, because I don't give a damn about Heavenly at this moment. All right. I said what I said, and I am Jamie. That's me. Be sure to do your due diligence for supporting the channel. There are multiple ways. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one, honey. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand on my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cash died at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M.